The price of loyalty. Michael Thorne woke to the sterile silence of his prison cell. It was a harsh contrast to the familiar, comforting aroma of coffee that used to greet him. Just a year ago, the gentle sounds of his wife, Amanda, starting her day in their small Chicago apartment, were his morning soundtrack. That life felt like a ghost now. Michael was a man broken by a single, desperate mistake. Agreeing to transport a clean car for Tony, the shark Moretti, an old high school acquaintance with a penchant for high-stakes, low-morality schemes. The car was stolen. The $1,000 he needed to cover rent and mounting debts cost him his freedom. He'd been sentenced to 5 years at Riverdale Correctional Facility, 2 hours outside the city. Amanda, a sharp, beautiful woman who worked as an assistant manager at a major insurance firm, had been a pillar of strength initially. She visited him every Saturday, a splash of vibrant color in the gray, concrete reality of the prison. Her determination was the only thing Michael clung to. "We'll get through this, Mike," she'd promised, her hand gripping his across the scratched visitation table. 3 years, with good behavior, and you'll be home. I'm not going anywhere." But as the months dragged on, the visits became sporadic. A missed week due to an urgent work project. Then 2 weeks with a hurried, distracted phone call citing a new demanding boss. The letters, once detailed and loving, shrunk to curt, almost professional updates. Michael knew the statistics. Prison marriages rarely survive the second year. But he'd fiercely defended Amanda to his cynical cellmate, Victor. "She's not like that, Vic. She's my rock." Victor, a seasoned criminal with a weary wisdom, only shrugged. "They're all rocks until the tide goes out, Mikey. A pretty woman like that, in a city like Chicago, life moves fast." The seed of doubt was planted. It was nourished by a single, anonymous photograph that arrived in the mail. Amanda, laughing, her hand resting on the arm of a handsome, well-dressed man in a dimly lit restaurant. The man was Marcus Cole, a senior partner at her firm. The final visit came in a flurry of nervous energy and expensive new clothes. Amanda wore a simple yet costly silver bracelet, a gift from a coworker. Her scent was different, a sophisticated, unfamiliar perfume. "You look tired, Michael," she'd said, avoiding his eyes. "Work is crazy. They promoted me to account director. It's a lot of travel now." "I'm happy for you," Michael had said, the lie tasting of metal. He noticed she kept glancing at her watch, an urgency about her. She left 15 minutes early, claiming traffic. The new perfume, stronger now as she leaned in for a quick, fleeting kiss, felt like an invisible wall between them. A week later, a curt letter arrived. "Dear Michael, I won't be able to make it this month. Work is overwhelming. Best, Amanda." No love, no kisses. That night, Victor leaned close. "You got your answer, didn't you? She's made her choice. Now you have to make yours." Victor, facing a terminal illness and denied necessary surgery by the prison system, had been planning an escape. He had outside contacts, new identities, and a path to Mexico. Michael had always refused. But now, with his world reduced to ash, the impossible seemed like the only option. "Tell me the plan, Victor," Michael whispered. The escape was a chaotic blur, a late-night delivery truck, a brief moment of distraction among the guards, and a frantic leap into the darkness. Michael and Victor were met by Victor's contact, Eddie, who whisked them to a safe house in Joliet. 2 days later, Michael Thorne was gone. He was now Daniel Foster, a clean-shaven, dark-haired man with a new driver's license and a bitter resolve. Victor took the road south. Michael took the next bus to Chicago. He found her old apartment empty. A neighbor informed him that Amanda had moved out 6 weeks ago to a fancy new building downtown. "The man she's with, Mr. Cole. I hear he's some big-shot lawyer." Michael located the address, a high-rise luxury apartment in the affluent Lakeshore East neighborhood. For 3 days, Michael, a fugitive, a ghost, watched them from a bench across the street. Marcus and Amanda. They moved with the easy, natural rhythm of a long-established, happy couple. They laughed. They held hands. They were living the dream Michael had sacrificed his freedom for. On the 4th night, the lights were low in their apartment on the 18th floor. Michael saw them move to the couch, silhouetted against the window. The embrace. The kiss. Marcus's hands sliding down Amanda's dress. Michael turned away, the world dissolving into a red haze of white-hot pain and rage. He had lost everything to his single mistake, but she had abandoned him to a 5-year sentence for her own comfort. The next morning, Michael waited until Marcus had left for work. He slipped past the distracted lobby attendant and rode the elevator up to the 18th floor. Amanda opened the door in a silk robe, a coffee mug in her hand. Her jaw dropped. "Michael, Jesus, how?" "I came to see the truth," he said, stepping into the luxurious, sun-drenched apartment. The view was breathtaking, but Michael saw only the betrayal. The confrontation was explosive. "I was going to tell you," she cried, backing away as he advanced. "I just didn't know how. 5 years is a long time, Michael. I was lonely. Marcus, he was there. He was kind." "Kind?" Michael roared. "He was stealing my life. My wife. The only thing I had left to fight for." "You chose this path, Michael," she shouted back, tears streaming. "You broke the law. You went to prison. I couldn't put my life on hold for a choice you made." The argument spiraled into the spacious kitchen. Amanda, frantic, grabbed the phone, but Michael slapped it away. She backed towards the knife block on the counter. Michael, sensing her move, intercepted her and grabbed a large, heavy chef's knife. "What are you going to do?" she whispered, genuine terror in her eyes. "I don't know," he admitted, the knife shaking in his hand. "I just wanted to hear you say you were sorry, that you missed me, that you remembered what we had." "I did, Michael," she pleaded. "But I love Marcus now. We're getting married in June." The sound of the front door opening broke the moment. "Amanda? I forgot my briefcase." Marcus Cole stood in the kitchen doorway, immaculate in his suit. He took in the scene, the fugitive, the sobbing woman, the knife, in an instant. "Mr. Thorne, I understand your pain," Marcus said, stepping forward, pushing Amanda behind him. "But this is not the answer. Put the knife down, and we can call your lawyer. No one has to get hurt." "You're wrong, Jamesy," Michael hissed, recognizing the lawyer's attempt at control. "Everyone has to get hurt." Michael lunged. Marcus pushed Amanda away and dodged the thrust, but the blade grazed his forearm. "Run, Amanda. Call a 911. Amanda, instead of running, grabbed a heavy, crystal vase from the table and swung it with all her strength. It struck Michael's temple. The world swam, but he stayed on his feet, turning slowly to face the woman who had once sworn her life to him. "You're protecting him?" he mumbled, his voice thick with rage. He lunged toward her again, driven by a furious, consuming pain. Marcus, slipping on the shards of the shattered vase, failed to intercept him. The knife plunged into Amanda's stomach. Time stopped. Michael watched the light leave her eyes, the life draining away as she slid down the wall. He fell to his knees beside her, trying to staunch the gushing blood with his hands. "Amanda, I'm so sorry," he whispered, cradling her head. "I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to." He sat there, a wanted man, covered in his wife's blood, until the blaring sirens and the heavy footsteps of the police filled the apartment. He offered no resistance. At the precinct, Detective Donovan, a seasoned officer, studied the defeated man. "Why'd you run, Mr. Thorne?" "I wanted the truth," Michael said, his voice a hollow monotone. "And what is the truth, now that you have it?" Michael looked up, his eyes empty. "The truth, detective, is that I served my time for a crime. Now she's served hers." "You are unrepentant," the detective stated, closing his notebook. "I repent," Michael corrected, looking at his cuffed hands. "But not for coming here. I regret meeting Amanda in the first place. For believing in loyalty. In forever." He was charged with murder, escape, and assault. Michael Thorne, the mechanic who wanted to pay his rent, now faced the death penalty. But as he sat in the cold cell, the image of Amanda's laughing face, the one he had seen in the anonymous photo, was all he could see. He had traded a few years of freedom for a lifetime of death and regret. His one mistake had cost him his life. Her one mistake had cost her hers. The price of their loyalty, or lack thereof, had been paid in full.